Hello, welcome back. Today we're here to learn how to make this segmented elbow. This is a segmented elbow. It has a starter, a segment and a finisher. It is 90 degrees. It is a 60mm fitting by 25mm of insulation, and it's a very widely used fitting. It's reasonably easy to make. All the parts are in full. So let's move this out of the way and let's get started on making this fitting. So first of all, let's put this up here. We need to draw in a baseline. Just draw in a baseline. Now vertical. Next we need to put in a centre radius. This is a 60mm pipe, so the centre radius is 1.5 times nominal bore. The nominal bore is the hole in the pipe. So this, in this case, would be 75mm. So we just open those up to 75mm. Like that up. And we just pop that in there. Next we need to put in the diameter of the pipe. The pipe diameter would be 111mm. Half of 111mm is 55mm. So we need to open our dividers up to 55mm to give us our 111. And we pop that in on the centre, just there. Like that. Now to get 90, we go to the corner there, just open our dividers up a little bit more, put a scratch line in there, and the same from this side. And we join that up to that will keep us at 90. Divide that up in the usual manner, so we set these back up to 55mm. Just check that. Yep. So we just divide that up in the usual manner. Right, now from this point to this point we put an arc in, so we open the dividers up to that. This is drawing our bend in now. And then from this point to this point we draw that arc in. Lovely. Now, if you remember the construction of angles, if we open our dividers up back to that, and from that point, an arc in there, from that point, put an arc in there, that will give us 45 degrees. Just put a line straight through there. This is the easiest way of dividing this up. There's no messing about. It's very accurate. Just close them up a little bit. So from that point there again, an arc in. From that point there, put an arc in. Same on the other side. Put an arc in. And from there, put an arc in. We'll draw those up to the centre line as well. And that one there. That's our bend divided up. There's our starter, there's our segment, and there's our finisher. So this piece here would make the segment, starter and the finisher. So we need to take all these up to our swage line, which we haven't put in yet, and we're going to be using a number 2 swage. So I do most of my patterns on a number 2 when they're this small, and it's about 4.5 mil, 3.5 mil, about an eighth of an inch. I work in inches. It's about an eighth of an inch, it's about 3.5 mil thereabouts, 4 mil. There you go. So that's what that line represents as our swage. So that's our tolerance. Now, from each one of these points, we take that up to the swage line. See, straight up like that. Normally I'd make these on sheet metal, and I use a square to keep myself square. I'm using the long divisions on the ruler, I can see through it, and I'm using that, in case you was wondering, to keep straight and square. And finally, so that's all our lines in. All that's left to do now with them is number them. So we would number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So I'm just going to pop that down there, just there, and on here we need to draw a centre line in. So we just take the centre line straight across the page, which is where we're going to form our template. So right, so we need to draw in, I'm just going to put 20 mil of lap in. We just, that's our lap. So we start from that one, and we want 13 divisions. So we bring this back up. As per always, we open up to one of these. And we just check that. Perfect. Just down here. Perfect. So we now know that that gives us our circumference. So we're now marking 13 lines. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now you can put 20 mil again on the other end, but it's not necessary, but we are in this case. So that's the lap as well. So now all we need to do is just draw those in vertically. And again, what I'm doing is the long lines on here, I'm lining up with the centre line and then just going straight off. Like that. Right, so now all that's left to do is number these. Let's bring this back over. When you're looking at this, we're going to make a side opening pattern, so we'd start here at position 4, so that goes on there in the centre and on there. Likewise, if you wanted to make a back opening pattern, you'd start with position 1, so your position 1 would go there and in the centre. And if you wanted to make a throat opener from here, that's where you'd start. So where you start on the pattern is where your lap is going to finish. Now I've added on a bit extra lap. Normally you wouldn't do that, you'd only put it on one side of this type of pattern and that'd do it, but I want mine just over the centre for waterproof purposes, so I'm just moving it over a little bit to make it a little bit more watertight, so you haven't got a big seam in the middle, it's just moved over a little bit. So what we do now is we number them and we put a sequence of numbers along here to correspond with what we're going to do, and the sequence for the side opening one would be as follows. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Obviously that's lap and that's lap, so we don't have to worry about those. Right, so I'm going to keep bringing this up so you can see me opening the dividers up to each mark, and then we'll move it out of the way and put it on. So the first one we're going to be starting in the centre, so that's going to be opened up to position number 4. So just open them up like that, tighten them up each time, out of the way. So that's position 4 marked in there, so all the 4s. So that's 1, 2, 3. So you bring that back up again. So now we're going to go to position 3. So we open that up to position 3. Like that. Out of the way. Well, position 3 is in. Back in. So we go to position number 2. finally on that bit, position 4. This is position number 1. It's the final position. So that's position 1. And now we go back round the right here, so go to position 5. Six. Oh, that's not 6, that one, is it? A little error there, just look that out. 6. We're human after all. And finally position 7. That goes in there. Now once we've done that, what we need to do is just before, let's just join all of those in, and the ones on the outside, the lap lines, you just let that run off. So join each one of those up in turn. Let that run off again and come to the edge. Same again here. And let that run off again when you get to the edge. There you go. Now all that's left to do is mark on your rivet holes, and that would go along line number 4. So you just put them in at convenient spacing. What you usually divide is after you've cut it out to mark them on. Just to show you, you just bring them in from the edge like that, and you decrease space on line number 4 at the side, the same as these, so when you put them together they fit nicely and tightly. So all that's left to do now is you just cut this out along here, down here, around here, and just there. And that, this piece here, you'd use that as your template. So you draw around it, and on one side, and that would give you your starter and a finisher, and you draw around the whole thing like that to get your segment. And then all you need to do then is put it through the slip roller, roll it, and then once you've got your roll on it, put it through your swager, the number 2 swage in this case, that's what I've allowed for it, and put it together. And then when you've put it together, As always, you would have a perfect bend at 90 degrees and looking smart. As always, thank you very much for watching my video. Please remember to subscribe, like and share. Until next time, goodbye and thank you.